On Thursday, Twitter users were treated to the newest dump from Chief Twit Elon Musk. This time, presented by Barry Weiss. So now, the Twitter Files 2.0 claims to have uncovered evidence that Twitter had previously engaged in what they call shadow banning of conservatives on the platform. Shadow ban. It's not like a normal banning because it's shadows, you don't. Something. Last week, Matt Taibbi claimed that people on both sides of the political aisle had successfully lobbied to content that they did not like, but that the system was biased against people on the right. So now this continues, where Barry Weiss claims to have some dumps. We got
big, massive dumps.
Okay, that she claimed showed that bias was then also expressed in the shadow banning of conservative voices. Oh, people with large, gigantic followings on Twitter. Well, wait a minute. Okay, so they already had gigantic followings, and so their tweets, and I'll basically tell you what's going on, but they could still reach their massive audiences. So, but anyway, okay, let me read one of her posts. She said a new Twitter Files investigation reveals that the teams of Twitter employees build blacklists. Oh, blacklists. Prevent disfavored tweets from trending. Oh no. And actively limit the visibility of entire accounts or even trending topics, all in secret. Very, very secret, without informing users. Then she showed tags in the accounts of Charlie Kirk and Dan Bongino that apparently limited the reach of their posts. The photo posted by Weiss, Bongino's account has a search blacklist tag on it, while Kirk's has one that says, do not amplify. So now, of course, the contention here is conservatives are saying, well, Twitter said they weren't, shadow banning accounts. Twitter says, well, we don't like the term shadow banning. In fact, we just want to call it visibility filtering. Okay. So now, here's the thing. No shit. I mean, of course this happened. Are you telling me that social media companies have opaque algorithms and practices that are not open to their users? Yeah, of course they do. They all do. Yeah. YouTube does it. Look, and here's the thing. This is not new. This is not a gigantic bombshell that is like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I had no idea that this was happening. No, of course, we all knew it was happening. This is public knowledge. Wow, congratulations, Barry Weiss, on your scoop. Scoop of the century. What's next? Water being wet? Well, maybe from the standpoint of water. Look, back in 2018, and by the way, here's the thing. They're saying it's not public knowledge. They didn't inform anybody or inform users. Really? Back in 2018, Twitter announced that it would hide tweets from conversations and search results, i.e., visibility filtering. This is according to Washington Post's Will Oramus. Twitter at the time said that it would look the way other individuals reacted to an account in order to avoid showing tweets that would detract from conversations. So, Twitter said that, while tweets were not being removed from the platform most of the time, unless, of course, they did break their terms of service, and I think that's important to note, but they did remove them from the search and have them more difficult to find. But if you follow those people, or if you regularly go to their Twitter page, then their tweets are all right there. Again, you know who does that? Every single other platform. YouTube has literally done that to us. I mean, we're not in the recommended search. No, people have to come to our page and go and actually find the videos. and they've done the same thing to every single independent media publisher on the platform. So basically, the audiences are not growing for a lot of lefty channels. You have, Humanist Report, Rational National, Secular Talk, myself, many, many others. We haven't seen sub growth in years. Recommendations for all users interested in news get pushed towards legacy media outlets. Now, we haven't been removed from the platform, but we're not exactly elevated either, not the way that it used to be. So this is not a secret when it comes to YouTube either. We've known this has happened for a very long time. It's not a secret on Twitter either. And honestly, for YouTube, it's a response mainly from advertisers wanting to make sure that their ads don't get put next to like ISIS videos or white nationalists, and also because YouTube happens to favor legacy media corporations. And so those legacy media corporations who have a lot of influence, i.e. money, they want to make sure that they get favorable preference in the algorithm. So, that's why you have this authoritative source change, which elevates authoritative sources, i.e. legacy media, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, Reuters, etc. Those, legacy newspapers, outlets, or news agencies and outlets, they will always be higher up in the search results than independent media channels such as myself. Again, this is not a surprise. It's been happening, and it's been happening for a long time. It's not a surprise that Twitter also ran a similar policy. So back to Weiss. Now, she mentioned two accounts by name. Conservatives Charlie Kirk and Dan Bongino. There's also a doctor's account that were impacted by visibility filtering. So those are her two examples. Now, she didn't say why Twitter had put them under this, visibility filtering. Okay. And I think that's important to note. Because let me give you some examples of things that Charlie Kirk has tweeted out that could have led to the warning of, hey, you might not want to amplify this. So on March 15th of this year, Charlie Kirk just, happened to dead name a trans Biden staffer, Rachel Levine, in a tweet. So yeah, that's pretty crappy. It's not a good thing to do because, of course, it directs, hate towards a trans woman. It also falsely smeared a California senator named Scott Weiner. Here's what he tweeted about Scott, saying, quote, "Thousands of pedophiles in California are going free after just a few months in jail, thanks to the state's radically reduced penalties for child molestation. One reason why so many of these predators are going free so early is California lawmaker Scott Weiner." Wait, so he's basically just saying, oh, you see this guy? He loves pedophiles. Yeah, he's a pedophile enabler. Maybe he's a pedophile himself. Now, Scott Weiner is a openly gay politician and a senator in California. And first off, okay, California has not reduced the penalties for child molestation. That is a complete and utter lie. And it's a dangerous lie, but it goes along with what the right wing has been doing, accusing everyone who is LGBT of being groomers. So now Kirk was also referencing in a bill, SB 145. It's a bill passed by the California State Senate on August 31st, 2020. Again, he claimed that it legalized pedophilia, which again, not true at all. It's just completely false. The bill is actually intended to reform the state sex offender registry in order to treat all statutory rape cases, regardless of whether the perpetrator or someone involved is LGBTQ, equally the same, as to not be more harsh against a person who is LGBT versus someone who is not. So it's just trying to treat everyone equally under the eyes of the law. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yet, Charlie Kirk says, oh, no, it helps pedophiles. Sure. Weiner was also behind the passage of a California law that protects families traveling from places where it is illegal for children to receive gender-affirming care. So now gender-affirming care means things like puberty blockers, right? It also, part of gender-affirming care just also means being able to change your name to one that is of your preferred gender, your gender identity, being able to dress, and socialize in the way that, suits and matches your gender identity. That's it. But again, Kirk says, no, it's a pedophile. He's a pedo. He's enabling pedos. So obviously that's going to have some effects. Those lies have consequences. In fact, earlier this week, BuzzFeed News reported that the senator had received a death threat on Tuesday from someone, unsurprisingly, calling him a pedophile and a groomer. Are you surprised? No, shouldn't be surprised. Now, Weiner basically calls out Charlie Kirk for those threats and attributes them to homophobic lies promoted by Kirk and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who also spread that same lie on Twitter. Gee, I don't understand why Charlie Kirk's account would be considered something that Twitter wouldn't have wanted to amplify. Because it gets death threats to people over nonsense lies. You had the Club Q shooting over this, over, drag queens. Again, put out like you had these lies spread across social media, places like Libs of TikTok, that are going around and saying these are groomer events of pedophiles. And then you have, of course, people that will arm themselves and they will go in and they will do violence and murder. That's why you don't want to have these, accounts have that much reach. If you don't like that kind of violence, which everyone should abhor, but unfortunately, only most people abhor it, except for the people who follow Charlie Kirk, who are into the QAnon conspiracy theories, who are in the far right, who love doing this violence against, people in the LGBTQ community, and people who promote it, like Tim Pool, many others. And they're friends with Elon Musk. They're all buddy, kissing Musk's ass and getting preferential treatment. Now, this is defamation to a sitting senator from Charlie Kirk. And by the way, I'm pretty sure it's not a big stretch to say that I'm sure Charlie Kirk hoped that something bad would happen to Scott Weiner. By putting out those tweets, you're saying, look at this pedophile enabler. Maybe somebody should do something about him. Wink, wink. Now, the Twitter files posted by Barry Weiss left out that possible reasoning. Left out reasons why some of these accounts might be quote unquote shadow banned or have their visibility filtered because what they're doing is promoting hatred and violence against a community that has already been targeted with hatred and violence. And this is my big issue with the Twitter files. They left out context. They leave out the context of why Twitter is making these decisions. And they're doing so for, in order to push the narrative that the people were targeted, that these big accounts, conservative accounts, were targeted because they're conservative, because they have conservative values. It's not about being conservative. It's about lying to millions of people and putting their lives in danger. That's the problem here. You are actively putting out hate, lies, and disinformation that is galvanizing people to take violent action against a group of people that are already, again, being targeted at the state level and sometimes even at the national level. It's disgusting. By the way, I'm pretty sure some of the other ones, other accounts were flagged because they were supporting Capitol rioters, the insurrectionists. Now, I also have an issue with the lack of reporting on lefty accounts, because I'm pretty sure it's not just right-wingers that have had their accounts limited in reach. But I sincerely doubt that Musk is interested in sharing those details. That said, the policy here, by the way, it's not even a new policy. In fact, the visibility filtering sounds very familiar to something, we heard recently. Now, where did I hear that from? Oh, right. Elon Musk. Hate speech impressions continue to decline despite significant user growth. That's what happens when you redefine what hate speech is. Freedom of speech, and this is the important part, doesn't mean freedom of reach. Negativity should and will get less reach than positivity. So, there you go. Literally Elon Musk's policy. That said, I'm pretty sure there will be a change in how it's done, which is to say that Twitter will no longer look at transphobic tweets as examples of hate speech. So there's that. Look, Twitter is no longer a place that is limiting homophobic and transphobic tweets, which is essentially what the right wing has wanted all along, a place to spew their hatred to the masses. Now, the thing is, they couldn't do it on Parler. I mean, yes, they could, but no one else was there. Couldn't really do it on True Social because, again, no one else was there. So they had to take over a bigger platform and then loosen the rules, but for them only, so that they can go and spew hate and transphobia. That's it. And the N-word, anti-Semitism, all of that. And look, the accounts that Musk had brought back from, to the platform that were previously banned are the ones that either, again, did massive transphobia, because of TikTok, again, that led to bomb threats at hospitals, children's hospitals. They even brought back the founder of the Daily Stormer. And of course, you had Jordan Peterson, who dead-named Elliot Page, on and on and on. That's who they brought back. So, the newest Twitter files. Look, the one thing that they still haven't proven, however, and this is our claim, is that, Twitter, in doing all this, they violated the free speech. First Amendment. Except that, again, they don't understand what the First Amendment means. Twitter is not a state actor, and the First Amendment only applies to state actors. So unless you nationalize Twitter, which Elon Musk is not going to do, then it's not governed by free speech, the First Amendment. And it states, by the way, that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or the press. As I said before, Twitter is not the government. I don't know why conservatives cannot understand that. Elon Musk doesn't seem to understand that. I thought he was supposed to be a genius. You're supposed to be a genius, aren't you? Apparently, you're stupid. You're a bigot. You're a gigantic moron. You don't understand what free speech is. No. And look, by the way, Elon Musk, now that he's in control of Twitter, does seem to understand that he can do whatever he wants with his platform and bring whoever he wants back and ban whatever and whoever he wants. And we understand it. We've known that the whole time. That's what we're trying to tell you. Yet, again, there is a whole lot of conservatives who seem to be very confused about what the First Amendment actually means. So let me give you some context, right? Court case, just as recently as 2020, among many others, by the way, it basically showed that digital platforms are not state actors, and because of that, the government cannot restrict them in any way. Okay? In 2020, Prager University sued Google for allegedly violating their free speech. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals rejected their claim and ruled that YouTube is not a state actor. They can ban or restrict or do whatever to whomever they want because it is their platform. They own it. You sign a terms of service, and if you violate it, they can ban you. But I will tell you why they keep pushing this lie. It makes them money, and they get to play the victim. They lie about the government censoring them, and the morons send them their money. Their viewers don't seem to be smart enough to know the difference between the government and corporations and what free speech actually is, and what the Constitution actually says about free speech.